everyone, welcome to Chumsy Digital Storytell. In this place, we ensure to always bring to you some wonderful and exciting stories. So please bring your peanuts and bottle of chilled wine or water, then sit down and listen. Don't forget to also subscribe to this channel for more videos. Now, here is a brief summary of this story. Azura Community is a title. It is a wonderful tale that shows how some villagers exchange human lives for traditions. Amina, a young virgin girl, was buried alive despite all the pleading from her parents. In the long run, her story later served as a cautionary tale, reminding the people of Azura of the devastating consequences of their brutal tradition. To this day, the villagers whisper Amina's name in reverence and fear. So, people, can we dive into the main story already? Years back, in the village of Azura, somewhere in northern African community, a dark tradition looped. Whenever a new king wants to be crowned, a virgin would be buried alive beneath the throne, supposedly to bring prosperity and power to the ruler. The villagers believed that the virgin's pure spirit would protect the king and ensure the kingdom's fertility. The evil transition continued. The parents of the victim would cry a river, but yet the assignment must be carried out as the tradition demands. Same thing kept going on, and no one can eventually tell when and how it's ever going to end. The community is always in a grief each time those moments surfaces again and again. One fateful day, a brave virgin named Amina was chosen for the gruesome fate. Amina was a very beautiful girl, very cheerful and friendly with people, and she always wear a beautiful and a captivating smile. She is the only child of her parents, a promising child full with ambition and future plans. Her parents pleaded for her life. They told the king and everyone about her plans. They begged for their daughter's life. They wept and cried, but all to no avail. Amina also joined her parents to weep, but they were all handicapped. As she was led to her tragic end, she laid a powerful curse on the community. She declared in pain that if any family in Azura failed to reach 18 years of peaceful existence after her sacrifice, the entire family would meet a sudden and mysterious demise. Shortly, it began to happen, starting from the family of the king, his kinsmen, the decision makers in the palace, and some other few elders who always agitate for this evil tradition. As time went on, people began to notice strange occurrences. Families who had lost loved ones to the tradition started seeing apparitions of the buried virgins. The king family was the first to fall victim to the curse. His son, who had turned 18 just a year after Amina's death, suddenly collapsed and died without any explanation. Affliction started to drop on some of their wives and their children while leaving them in wondering and shock. Some were trying to figure out the cause of their misfortune, while the stubborn ones felt it's only natural after all. The villagers trembled, the kingdom crumbled, and the legend of Amina's curse lived on. Years passed. The village still remained impeded by misfortune. Families who had opposed Amina's sacrifices began to dwindle, and the once thriving village became a shadow of its former self. Things are no longer flourishing well as calamity befall them day by day. People are losing things, including their lives. Mothers became sick and swell up and eventually died. Some fathers would just slump and died. Children will fall and die without being sick or anything. And these things continued. Things were getting out of hand, and some elders promised to seek for solutions. At this point, the villagers were convinced that Amina's spirit was avenging the injustice, but who will rescue Azura community? The people were helpless. Elder Hassan stepped forward, a tall and handsome man in his late 70s, set out to seek for a way to fix the problem in their community. On the night before his departure, he dreamt and had a clarity of his joining. It was not going to be an easy one, yet his mind was made up because he was desperate to lift the curse. So, he He went far and wide to search for a solution. He embarked on the journey. It was a disaster, but luckily for them, after many researches, he finally found an ancient scroll hidden deep within the forest, which revealed a way to break the curse. It was 6th day on since he left for his search. The village was bleeding and in heavy grief. Children, parents were on a lookout and waiting endlessly. The 7th day emerged. That hot afternoon, at about 2 p.m., Elder Hassan stormed into the village and holding an ancient scroll in his hand. The message went straight to the king. They sent a town crier to alert everyone to assemble themselves as the people gathered in the king's palace. Elder Hassan opened the scroll and it read,
The people of Azura had believed in their tradition for over 200 years ago from their ancient fathers, and this transition is to be continued till the kingdom comes. But sadly, the land is wasting and fading away. The people are suffering. The land is bleeding. The cry of Amina does no longer let me sleep. So therefore, the village must build a monument in honor of Amina and the other buried virgins, and perform a ritual of atonement every year.
All the villagers shouted, and some began to murmur, saying, So it was this evil tradition that has put us all in this cage and pains. Question was going on and on. Suddenly, everywhere became silent in a moment, and the king made his speech.
I, the king of Azura community, has given my consent to the regard of building the monument and the ritual performance every year for Amina and the rest buried virgins.
The whole villagers started shouting and crying as they left the king's palace. The next day, the villagers banded together, and with heavy hearts, the ritual was performed, and slowly but surely, the curse began to lift. The village began to heal, and Amina's spirit finally found peace. From that day on, the villagers honored Amina as a hero, and the tradition of burying virgin was never spoken of again and forever. The villagers became happy and celebration took place, and everyone was smiling and waving to the sky and waving to the spirit of Amina to find peace and rest. So people, we have come to the end of this story. Did anyone learn anything here? In your honest heart, what do you think about this kind of traditions? And do you think it still exists here in Africa? And where is the location, in case you know one? Please drop your thoughts and opinion on the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also like and share this video. Again, turn on your notification button so whenever I drop new story, you will be notified. Alright, I'll see you again in my next video. Say no to evil tradition. Bye and I love you.